Konnichiwa. This is the Shogunstein, and this is some historical background and an unboxing of the game Buru, which we got from Amazon Vine for review purposes. So just in the interest of disclosure, we did receive a review copy from Amazon Vine. Buru is a game for 1 to 4 players, ages 12 up, 60 to 75 minutes. Buru is one of the larger islands in the archipelago. An archipelago is a chain of islands in the Indonesian archipelago. And this game, the theme, takes place during what is one of the largest empires ever in Southeast Asia, and that is the Majapahit Empire, which ruled in Indonesia, and don't tell Mrs. Shogunstein this, but parts of Malaysia and Singapore from the 13th to the 16th century, from about 1290 to about 1530. So we're talking about a commercial empire that was heavily influenced from India and was a empire that was kind of rooted in Indian traditions, including Hinduism and Buddhism. And as part of the bigger picture, this was part of the massive Indian Ocean trade network. So we always hear about, Columbus and sailing the ocean blue, 1492, and Magellan. Well, before Columbus and before the quote-unquote age of exploration, from the European perspective, there was a massive trade network going on in the Indian Ocean, which included the east coast of Africa, it included parts of India, it included China, and it included Indonesia, Malaysia. The Straits of Malacca were very, very important. So the Majapahit Empire was a very powerful empire during this time period because they were involved in commerce, they were involved in this Indian Ocean trade. They were a commercial empire that was doing trade with places like China, Cambodia, Thailand, and some of the riches of this empire were described in the writings of the very famous African Marco Polo. So there was an explorer from in the 1300s named Ibn Battuta. A lot of people know Marco Polo and his very important journal of his trips to China. Well, in terms of the Islamic world and parts of, Africa, Ibn Battuta was kind of like the equivalent of a Marco Polo, and his journals are very important primary sources of this time period. So in 1332 to 1347, he was in what again today would be Indonesia, Malaysia, Singapore, in the Majapahit Empire, and you can read some of his descriptions. Again, a very important person for primary source of the Islamic world at that point. That's Ibn Battuta. So again, this empire had influence from India and was Hindu Buddhist, and it came into power, it is tied into the Yuan Empire, which was the Mongols in China, but eventually it's sort of, as the Yuan dynasty was kind of on its way down, that the Majapahit Empire was able to take power in, again, what's today Indonesia, Malaysia. So it's tied into Kublai Khan, and the Yuan dynasty is Mongol rule of China. So the empire will start to decline in the 16th century for several reasons. There were issues with secession and who was going to be the new rulers. There was the rise of the Ming Empire, and again, tied into that Indian Ocean trade, the Majapahit Empire was an important place for the Ming treasure fleets when they were under the Admiral Zheng He and those massive Chinese treasure fleets that made those 7 voyages and possibly made it around Africa, possibly made it to North America, and Australia before the Europeans, possibly circumnavigated the globe before Magellan. They went through and had an influence in the Majapahit Empire. Again, you had to go through Malacca. So the increased power of the Ming Dynasty, especially in the beginning, before they went to a more isolationist policy, was important. And finally, again, today, Indonesia is the largest Muslim country, so the spread of Islam into the archipelago Indonesia, that also helped lead to the decline of the Majapahit Empire. So again, the spread of Islam, the rise of the Ming, and then just internal secession issues. So that's the theme of this game. At least it's an interesting theme, something different, not another Viking game, not another pirate game, but dealing with one of the largest empires in the history of Southeast Asia. So we got to appreciate that, and a unique theme here. So let's take a look at what's in the box. Again, I know nothing about the actual game or how it plays, so that's just a little historical background on the Majapahit Empire. So what do we got here in the box here? So we got some stuff to punch out. Okay. So we got the altar, different names here. I have to look some of those guys up. So again, during the time of this empire, they were influenced by Hinduism and Buddhism. Okay, so we got some ships. We got some ships here. So again, this was a trading empire. Commerce, Indian Ocean trade is going to be very important. Okay, looks like we got some player aids here. They're explaining all the different cards here. Okay. Telling us what things are. So we got some player aids. We got elder cards. We got Karatu Sespa. I'm going to have to ask Mrs. Shogunstein. She's pretty good at, she's fluent in Bahasa Malay, and I know she can speak some Indonesian language as well, which is related to the Bahasa Malay. Okay, again, we got some player aids here. Okay, looks like we got some more player aids in... okay, so we got player aids in 2 different languages here. Okay. Okay, so we got a dawn phase, a morning phase, noon phase, afternoon phase, dusk phase. I'm not sure what language this is. I'm going to assume that it's going to be in some sort of Indonesian language. You're going to have to show this to Mrs. Shogunstein, who is from Malaysia. Okay, we got a board. And again, Malaysia, parts of Malaysia were part of the Majapahit Empire. Same thing with Singapore. Okay, so we got a round board. Okay, that's kind of cool. Looks like a pizza pie. It's round. Okay. All right. The sacred lake, the village, the shore, the forest. So they traded in, wood was a very important thing that they traded. This empire, same thing with rice, lots of fruits. I believe the mangosteen was from Indonesia. The Shogunstein had a very poor attempt at trying to make some money, trying to do side hustle selling mangosteen juice a long time ago. All right, we got some cards. Got some smaller cards. Okay, then we got some wood pieces here. All right. Got some resources. We got some more resources. We got some kind of markers. We got some kind of fish or shark. Okay, imagine this is to keep track of the score. And we got some more. Just some more, I guess, some resources. And again, we got 2 rule books. Okay, so we have our game board, Islander cards, decree tokens, spirit totems. Very cool. All right, I know nothing about the actual gameplay here, so we're gonna have to dive in. Again, unique theme. Plenty of Viking games, plenty of pirate games, plenty of games about building the Great Wall of China. I can't think of too many games about early Southeast Asian empires. So looking forward to playing Buru. Again, Buru is an island in what's today Indonesia, archipelago, chain of islands. And we'll let you know what we think. We'll do some colorblind perspective. In the meantime, please check out our other video, our other content, and if any of this stuff you found interesting, read some more about this time period. Recommend reading some of those writings of Ibn Battuta. Maybe look into the Indian Ocean trade. Read about those Chinese treasure fleets in Zheng He. Read about the Yuan dynasty, the Mongol control of China, and then see what you can find out about the Majapahit Empire in Indonesia. This is the Shogunstein out.